Dear God, thank you for the many blessings our city enjoys. We ask for your guidance as we consider the matters before us this evening. In your holy name, amen.
Clerk Golick, roll call.
Markovich.
Here.
Spitali.
Here.
Vanez.
Here.
Kalwinski.
Here.
Torres.
Here.
Higgs.
Here.
Emerson.
Here.
Rakels.
Here.
Opinker.
Here. Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to reading of minutes.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
motion to accept the minutes from February 22nd, 2016.
Second.
The motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson on acceptance of the minutes. Is there any discussion? Any discussion on acceptance of the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes passed. Moving on, approval of claims.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
move for approval of claims February 17th through March 9th, 2016 for council meeting March 14th, 2016. Beginning with claims dated 2/22/16 and ending with claims dated 3/9/16, claim number 1288 through claim number 1637 for the amount of $7,005,961.89. I so move.
Second.
The motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs on the approval of claims. Is there any discussion? Any discussion on approval of claims? Clerk Golick, roll call vote.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vanez.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rakels.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes. Claims pass, 9-0. Moving on to public hearing, there is none. Next will be communications. Are there any communications? Communications is now closed. Moving on to committee reports.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
as a whole, bringing out 1612.
Any other committee reports?
Mr. President.
Councilwoman Vanez.
Yes, I would like to announce the Community and Crime Watch meetings that are coming up. The East Hammond Pullman Crime Watch will meet Tuesday, March 15th at the Ophelia Steen Center at 6:30 p.m. Hessville Crime Watch will meet at the Gene Shepherd Center on Thursday, March 17th at 7 p.m. Jefferson Crime Watch will meet Thursday, March 17th at Jefferson School at 6:30 p.m. Lafayette Neighborhood Watch will meet Wednesday, March 16th at Lafayette School. That begins at 6:30 p.m. And the South Hammond Crime Watch will meet Thursday, March 17th at the Hammond Housing Authority building at 7 p.m. And that is how change happens, one person, one gesture, one moment at a time. Thank you.
Any other committee reports? Moving on to ordinance third and final passage.
Ordinance 16-12, sponsored by Councilman Spitali. An ordinance to amend and replace Flood Hazard Area Ordinance 9117 by establishing provisions for flood hazards in accordance with the State of Indiana Model Ordinance for flood hazard areas.
President,
Councilman Spitali.
final passage of 1612.
Second.
The motion by Councilman Spitali, second by Councilman Emerson for final passage of 1612. Is there any discussion?
President,
Councilman Spitali.
this ordinance is about upgrading the language in the ordinance, and I'd like to have Don Novak come to the mic, please.
Hi. Basically, this ordinance is replacing and updating some of the language in the current ordinance that we've had for many years. It really does not materially affect any of the permitting requirements that we have. It's basically the language that they've decided to bring up to more modern times, if you will. I've explained to you basically the ordinance is a continuation of the ordinance that we have. If you have read it, you know that it's not real interesting reading, but I do understand it, and there really isn't any change that materially affects, the way we've been permitting and any of the property that we have left in the city in the floodplain.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Councilman Markovich.
You promised there won't be any more floods?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. No, I don't know if that will affect, what happens in nature. We don't have any control over that.
Yeah, I know everything's based on 100 years or whatever, just like fires at refineries on tanks and everything, but if it gets struck by lightning, there goes your 100-year thing or whatever.
Well, basically, this ordinance changed, like, what I indicated was the wording. They've changed the terminology of a 100-year floodplain. They call it the 1% chance area now. And, there's small things like that they've changed, which is basically, just a sign of the times. People say things differently than they did 20 and 30 years ago. And it's just an evolution of the ordinance and the regulations that the government has.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. Any other discussion? Clerk Golick, roll call vote on 1612.
Markovich.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Vines.
Yes.
Kalwinski.
Yes.
Torres.
Yes.
Higgs.
Yes.
Emerson.
Yes.
Rickles.
Yes.
Opinker.
Yes, ordinance 1612 passes 9-0.
President Opinker, that concludes the ordinances for final passage.
Thank you, Clerk Golick. Moving on to introduction of ordinances, there are none. After that'll be resolutions, there are none. Next to be unfinished business. New unfinished business.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Kowinski.
I request that the council send a letter to the Faro Corporation regarding its proposed groundwater closure plan at its formerly located facility at 3000 Sheffield Avenue in Hammond, and to request that the Indiana Department of Environmental Management provide the Common Council with any past and future correspondence, sampling data, closure submittals, remediation work plans, or any other information related to the Faro Corporation's groundwater closure plan at 3000 Sheffield Avenue, Hammond, Indiana. Thank you.
There's a motion by Councilman Kowinski to send a letter to the Faro Corporation proposed groundwater closure plan on its former facility located at 3000 Sheffield Avenue. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted. Any other new and unfinished business?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
I'd like to send a letter to the Chief of Police and the Police Department thanking them for apprehending and the suspect that was apprehended for allegedly robbing the 7-Eleven on Holman Avenue. I really appreciate the fact that they have been caught, and those type of people don't deserve to be on the streets at all. I so move.
There's a motion by Councilman Higgs to send a letter to the Chief of Police in regards to the apprehension of the perpetrator from the 7-Eleven crime. All those in favor, and actually thanking the Chief of Police for that great work. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted. Any other new and unfinished business?
Bob, are you going to do?
Oh, Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich.
there's going to be a meeting on Tuesday, March 22nd at 5:30 here in the caucus room about the appointment for boards. It's going to be like a workshop or whatever. If anybody, we're putting the notices out. So for Tuesday, March 22nd at 5:30 here at the City Council office. Make a motion for that meeting.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion granted for the meeting on the 22nd at 5:30 in the caucus chambers. Any other new and unfinished business? New and unfinished business is now closed. Moving on to public expression. First speaker of the evening will be Mr. Robert Ochi.
Good evening, council members.
My name is Robert Ochi. I live in the 3rd District, Anthony Higgs' district. And I just want to second the motion, too, that that was a great relief for my family in our area on the capture of the suspected, I guess, murder or crime or whatever for the 7-Eleven. When that happened on January 20th, I live basically 300 feet away from that, and you know, our area and our neighbors were terrified of what was going on at that time, and we're just so relieved that this looks like this has come to some conclusion or closure. Actually, my question has to do with what's going to be done with the building now. It's been vacated by 7-Eleven, and typically with a franchise like 7-Eleven closing, what are the responsibilities of the owner as the building is being mothballed right now until a new owner takes the building? What typically are the responsibilities with respect to public safety for that owner as this building sits in a kind of a state of, I guess flux until the new owner comes in? And then secondly, and that question really has to do with site lighting. Ever since the building's been boarded up, the lights have been shut off, the site lighting's been shut off, the floodlights have been shut off, and there's enough ambient light from the street, but as you get further into the building, it's pretty dark. And with summer coming along, I just can't picture that being a good scene, and the perception of Holman Avenue along there, it's not good for at least my neighborhood and any vacant building, I guess. So what typically does the city plan for, or is there a way or provisions we can have the owner at least turn on some outside site lighting during this time? And the second question goes basically to the city council member Anthony Higgs and the city, I guess, the Department of Economic Development, typically what or how they approach backfilling that building. Who leads that charge? I guess what provisions are made by the city planner, the Economic Development Director, and his staff as far as finding a new tenant for that building. As you know, Holman Avenue's recently seen some business leave. Napleton Cadillac basically shut their showroom doors, but they have a service facility there. They basically have 3 blocks of paved asphalt parking lots have been vacant there, and their lights are shut off also. So from the perception of people traveling through that area, it's a desolate area and it's becoming blighted. So those are my concerns for that area.
Thank you. Final speaker of the evening, Mr. George Stoya. Okay, have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Markovich?
can we go back to new and unfinished business, if we can maybe answer some of the questions for him or give him some guidance for Mr. Ochi that came here? Make a motion to go back to new and unfinished business.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Higgs. All those in favor to go back to regular order of business?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
just to elaborate on some of your questions and concerns, since I've been on the council, I have been very adamant about making sure new businesses come not only on Holman Avenue, but also on Columbia Avenue. That lot on Columbia Avenue has been vacant for a number of years, where Dad's liquor store used to be, New Community Church, and F&E store as well. So not just that, also Woodmar. At one time there was a pending lawsuit with the developer to try to get that developed. So economic development is responsible for trying to attract new businesses to our city. Certainly there are workshops. Chicago, I've tried to reach out. I've even asked one of my closest friends to try to establish a business. It doesn't look good when you ride down Columbia Avenue. The old KFC building is closed. A beautiful building. For some reason or another, they closed. I don't know if the kids were hanging out too much or doing too much in there, or they wasn't making enough money. Again, you know, they're doing an environmental study on Columbia Avenue currently to try to see if the soil is contaminated to the point where they can build or not build on that. Woodmar still needs to be completed. And then you have another vacant building, Walmart, which was a great store in the 3rd District. Now it's off Indianapolis Boulevard, off 8094. So I would hope that the mayor's office in economic development, Africa, would try to attract new businesses, especially in the 3rd district, because a lot of them have left and gone and closed. And there was a number of stores just here. As a kid, it used to be the barber shop. Recently, they just tore all that down. I remember it was a store there. It was 3 or 4 stores could be placed right there in that one location. So not just in one location. Now 7-Eleven is gone because some idiot wants to go over there and shoot an innocent man, which is totally ridiculous, to rob 7-Eleven. Really, I mean, just sad. It's been there all my entire life. 7-Eleven has been there, and it's devastating to the entire community and city. The fact of knowing that I can't go to 7-Eleven at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning no more because some idiot wants to come over here and pull a gun and kill an innocent man. And any fool in their right mind should know that if you work at 7-Eleven, they don't have money. The money goes in a little safe. They get $20, they put it in the safe. So what's your point? It's just ridiculous. But to make a long story short, I am working extremely hard to try to attract businesses here. And they have a workshop coming up again in May, and I'm going to try to attend that and try to get some potential businesses to maybe come to Hammond. That's all I can do. I'm working extremely hard trying to get them to, you know, we would have loved to have a 3W Wings over here in the 3rd district. It's convenient. I mean, the fact of the matter is I hate going all the way to River Oaks to spend my money. There's no profits to Hammond, our South Lake Mall. All the businesses that could possibly bring additional revenue are not here, so that's all I can say. But I'm willing to work with you and do whatever we can and attract new businesses.
Anything else under new and unfinished business?
Mr. President.
Councilwoman Vines.
I do believe the public expression question was with regard to 7-Eleven on Homan Avenue and also the old Cadillac dealership that is closed up and now they are dark both on Homan Avenue. Africa Tarver is our Economic Development Director, and she is under the direction of Phil Talon. I don't know for sure, but I would certainly think that if the neighborhood did get together with a petition and send it to corporate 7-Eleven and ask them for the well-being and safety of our neighborhood to please turn on the lights over there, I think that that might go a long way. I don't know that to be for sure, but if there is any way that any one of us in the city can help in the neighborhood, please don't hesitate to ask. And I certainly can appreciate your concerns. It was a horrible, devastating crime that was committed over there. And as U.S. Attorney David Kapp said, that it just shook the neighborhood. It was a brazen crime that was committed in a residential area. So I certainly understand your concerns, and any way that I can help. Thank you very much.
Mr. President,
Councilman Higgs.
just for a point of clarity in regards to the lighting, I doubt seriously if 7-Eleven is going to do it. Unfortunately, when they took off, they don't want nothing else to do with it. That's usually how businesses operate. Once they leave, the responsibility falls on the city. There are a number of businesses that constantly leave, and then there's debris and all kinds of things. I deal with it on a day-to-day basis. So, unfortunately, I mean, there's nothing we can do with the lighting because I can't go on private property. I do have money available, casino funding, to be utilized for lighting, but you can't go on private property and put it on there. So, other than street lights, that's it.
Don't know
Any-
unless we ask.
Any other new and unfinished business?
You're more than welcome to, Councilwoman.
Have a motion to go back to regular order business?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilman Rakos. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Markovich, second by Councilwoman Vines. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.